How do you begin to tell the story of an elk hunt? We've tried in several other videos concentrating on this exact subject. Do you start with building your arrows and purchasing your tags? Perhaps it's your trip to the hunting grounds and setting up your own camp. For sure, we'll want to introduce you to our friends. We're sitting here in Idaho, and you got Rodney and Rocky, in case you don't know who Rocky is. And we could take a look at a broadhead and what it's proven itself time and time again to be able to do. Should we discuss what your expectations are for this elk hunt? Rocky, when you come on a trip like this, what are you thinking? What are you looking forward to? What do you anticipate out of this hunt?
Well, for me, when I was younger, things were different. But to me, it's all about the hunt these days. I enjoy the atmosphere. I enjoy being with a good friend. I enjoy the country. I enjoy the camping. I enjoy the broadhead sharpening. I enjoy all of those aspects of a hunt.
This one started with a promise. As I was headed out the door, my wife said, "Promise me you won't film this time. If the elk is under 20 yards, just shoot it."
It's all about the people you're with and what you're out there for. And what I'm out here for is the experience and the closeness with nature. Those are the most important things to me.
Man, that was an exciting morning. Rocky decided to go up a little bit different way. We're on our third day here, and I went back and got in the tree, and no more got settled in there, and it started snowing, so it got pretty cold. I've got comfortable now, but man, it got cold. But here's the deal. Of course, this is the way it always happens, right? I'm sitting in a tree stand, and Rocky's tree stand is only about 50 yards from me. And about 7:30 in the morning, snowing like a rascal, and here comes a little tiny bull, a little 4-point, and had another bull with him. Always stayed in the trees, and I don't really know what that was. He had some good brow tines, but I couldn't really see anymore. So anyway, I'll share that with Rocky, and he'll think I was pulling his leg or something, but we did check the game cams before we put things up, and we've got some really nice bulls. Not decent, but one really nice 6-point. So I hope we can show you a picture of that later. We figure out how to get it on the video.
Holy smokes! Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I kept sitting there looking at you, and I'm going, is he going to shoot? I'm watching that bull, and you're 7 yards from him. And I'm looking at you. I can't see you because the tree you're in is so big, but the bull is right there, and he's looking toward you, and you could have thrown a rock and hit him on his nose. But I couldn't believe it.
He's directly behind me.
I know.
I mean, he's right in line with the tree. Exactly what you want when you're shooting, except you're supposed to be facing him. I'm looking back like this, and all I can see is his brow tines and his eyeballs. And I go, holy smoke!
Well, I got to tell you, this was pretty cool because I saw him coming over the hill, and you're hunting that wallow up there, and I'm hunting the water hole down below you, but we're only about 50 yards apart. And I watched him coming over that ridge, and I said, man, he's going to go right into that wallow. And I checked him out over there, and I already knew that I wasn't going to shoot him because he was a nice little bull, but he's young. He was a 4-point, pretty spindly.
Oh, I'd have shot him. Alice
yeah,
wants
I
meat.
know.
Alice wants meat.
I got to tell you, I said a prayer. I'm in my stand and I'm looking at him, and he's kind of going toward your wallow. And I said, please, Lord, let that bull go over to Rodney so I don't have to decide not to shoot him. And so he goes over, and then he cuts down and he comes right down to the water hole.
I could hear his feet.
He's right down at the water hole, and I'm looking at him, and I've got my bow back, and I'm all ready, and I could have shot him. I mean, he was there for 5 minutes. I could have shot him. He was broadside, and I'm looking, and I just kept saying, you know, no, I'm not going to, because I'm really not meat hunting.
You know,
And,
I hate hunting at night like this.
I do too. At night like this, I'm afraid he came in, right at, it gets dark, pretty early, and he came in, and the lighting is so dim in here. We're so deep in the cover,
and we're so old. All right,
and I'm looking, and I'm thinking, Rodney's got to shoot this bull. I'm not going to shoot this bull. He's got to shoot this bull. Exciting, when we look at those kinds of opportunities, and you have to, as a hunter, make a decision what you want to do, and that doesn't always mean shooting. That means sometimes you make the decision that you're going to pass this one.
Yeah.
Maybe let him grow and something like that, and that's a decision every hunter makes when you pull a bowstring back.
Absolutely.
You decide. It's kind of like a trophy. A trophy can be a spike if it's guys hunted hard for that. It doesn't matter what the animal is, it's how hard and what it meant to you at the time.
Absolutely agree.
And I feel really good about the fact that I didn't shoot, even though I could have. And I could walk out of here with nothing, and I'm perfectly okay with that, because to me, as I've said before, it's all about the hunt, not about the kill.
And I'm really sad Alice didn't have any meat.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, I did make a decision when he had walked out. If he had come right over to the little wallow, kind of beginning of a wallow by my stand, that's only about 5 yards. If he made the mistake of coming there, I probably would have had a hard time not.
Yeah.
But thank Lord he didn't do that.
Well,
it was great.
With the light getting bad, when once he walked over the hill, he got his water, and then he walked back up the hill into that dark timber and over the ridge.
He was gone.
That's when we came down, because like I said, I just don't like it when it's getting dark like this.
Either. And the other thing is, that's the same bull we had on camera with that big bull.
Yes.
And they were hanging together.
Exactly.
This is the 4th day that we've been
I kept looking.
Here.
Where's that second bull?
And
in fact, I thought there was 2 bulls.
Yeah, he totally, he was all by himself. The other one wasn't with him. They probably split up somehow. So, but it was a terrific evening. Oh my gosh, how much fun can you have?
I don't know, but let's get out of here, because I don't like walking in the dark.
And I'm going to get cold if I stand here like I am.
I see you already got all your stuff in your back.
Yeah, let's get going.
We've hunted together 3-4 times, but we've never planned to hunt together. This is the first hunt we've actually planned together. The other hunts, we just kind of ended up in the same place. This is where you learn about a person. You're out here on your own. You're going to know what somebody's about before you're done.
There's a thing that's been said that from a business standpoint is that you can learn more about a man or a woman playing 18 holes of golf with them than you can learn by knowing them for 10 years. And hunting together and being in close proximity and camping together, especially on a hunt like this, you learn more about someone than you would know in 40 years.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Rocky's gonna be packing up today and getting ready to take off and get out of here. I just walked out of camp here. We've been hearing this crazy bull bugling at night, never during daytime, but at nighttime. He's been bugling right here behind camp, and of course we got a waller that's within 150 yards of us, but first time he's ever bugled in the morning. Anyway, I popped out of the tent, no backpack or anything else, just ran over the hill, couldn't find my face mask and my gator. So anyhow, went up over the hill, and that crazy thing wasn't a monster bull, still in the velvet, blew me away. Everything else seems to be pretty much polished off now, but a little 5-point, probably had tines about 10 inches, 10, 11 inches on the back of the 5th point, still in the velvet. He was in between a bunch of cattle, in broken sage, a few spotted trees, so I tried to always keep a tree at my back and just stop in front of it. And got, I don't know, probably about 80 yards from him, and he was kind of going the other way. I mewed, did a cow call a couple times, and just put the call back away. And anyway, he turned around and started coming back my way, and then he kind of hesitated and looked at the cows, and the cows were kind of looking around. And he just put his head down and started eating again, and so I didn't call anymore. And he turned and started going kind of back the way he was going. Anyhow, I fiddled around with him, got about 60 yards from him, and he just kept working his way until he got into the thick timber. Never ended up doing anything with him, but it was fun anyway. It's always fun, especially on the ground.
Come on over here. A few things we need to talk about.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I've heard that at the principal's office before.
I know. We got a few things
I think
to discuss.
I know what's coming here.
Well,
what?
Well, here we are. We've been here for a week. We're going to have to start booking it if we're going to try to get out of here.
Yeah,
we have a lot of stuff to pack up because
getting hot.
We're back in here. So.
Well, I've changed areas. I'm working my way up right at the edge of these trees right behind me. I'm right on the edge of the transition zone. Got sage behind me. I'm just down on the ground now, stalking, listening, and stalking. And I found a whole bunch of scrapes off this little trail, 18 different ones.
In 4 days, covering about 50 miles, 5 of them vertical.
I got 15 elk over there. Well, I'm not sure what just happened. It's September the 10th, and I've been on 15 elk since 7 this morning. It's 10:30 now. I've been watching them. Because the wind's not good, I have to wait. Anyway, I watched them bed down about 8:30. They got on the south-facing slope, but they were on the north side of the trees, so I couldn't really see them, just bits and pieces of them. Anyway, for whatever reason, they just got up. And I know I haven't spooked them. The wind's blowing this way, and they were over that way. So, anyway, watched them go up over a rocky chute and up over the top of the mountain. Out of sight. I don't know what's going on. I've been glassing, trying to see if there's another hunter over there, but I don't know. I've moved down in the lower country. kind of postponed or put off whatever hunting anymore in the high country once Rocky left. Joe Wiley's supposed to show up, so I've come down here to this lower country and gonna try to set up some blinds. See how that works out for me. Try some natural blinds as well. There's a lot of willows if you can find water along these little creeks, so we'll try that too. Years ago, when I used to hunt pheasants with my brother-in-law, long about the end of the season, the farmers would all disc their fields up, so there was nothing but bare dirt clods. Well, the rooster pheasant thought they were safe out there in the middle, so they would go and they would hang out together right in the middle of those 1 mile square fields. Well, we came up with a tactic that worked pretty well. We'd leave one person on this side of that 1 mile field, the other person drive all the way around to the back side, slowly start walking right towards the hunter. Of course, the hunter was always laying down or in a ditch. Well, the pheasants would end up flying right over the hunter that was waiting. So we were always lucky and very privileged to limit out. I'm going to try a similar tactic. I'm going to take the mountain bike, pedal it out through this sage, because there's some big bull elk out here. I'm going to get right out in the middle of the sage. I'm going to lay my bike down, set the decoy up on it, just about daybreak, and see if I can trick a bull into coming in. We'll see what happens. But hey, I got nothing to lose. Boy, that was exciting. Oh, man. I tell you what, 42 yards. Yeah, I needed that bull to come across this last strip fence. And he hung up right there. I don't know if I was too close to the fence or what. About 20 yards back from the fence. Anyway, called him about 800 yards across 2 different strip fences that they've got here for the cows. And man, I was excited. I thought maybe something was really going to happen. But that's a nice bull, really nice bull. Good heavy, pretty wide, nice whale tails on him. Just a really dandy bull. I'm going to go see if I can find the owner of the property. After a couple hours, if things quit moving. The bulls are still bellowing around in the background here. So there's multiple bulls here. Anyway, there's always later, right? Oh man, I hope so. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Out here in this crazy sage, and the cows and the elk, they just seemed like they'd been together the whole time, even though they hadn't. They actually pushed some of the cows, actually pushed some of the elk pretty close to me. They came by me 3 times. Each time the wind had changed, and so they came in one time kind of from about 1 o'clock, and next time they came in from about 3 o'clock, and the last time they came in from like 10 o'clock. But each time the wind happened to be favorable for me. The other thing that was favorable is each time they got a little bit closer. So First time was like 80 to 90 yards out. The second time was around 60 to 80. The last time had a couple of pretty nice bulls actually, and I'll let you take a look at them. I got a little bit of video of them. They were just out of shooting range for me. Well, here's what I got going on now. You see this fence crossing right here behind me? I got set up here this morning, and I had 3 different bulls come by me separately. They were all around 30, 35 yards. They weren't huge. I'd made a deal with Alice that I wouldn't pass up anything if it came under 20 yards or under. I'd try to get her some meat instead of having to go to Costco. So anyway, I'm hoping that tonight they'll come in here again. If not, I just been staying by this little sage right here, sitting right in front of it. And of course I've got, a camel pulled up over the gator up over my neck. So, as long as I didn't move, they never saw me. So all's good. We'll keep trying. Getting kind of down to the last minute. Been here 42 days, and gotta go on the 45th day. So we gotta try to make something happen. Seen some real good bulls though, and then quite a few of these little guys. You can see I found another reason to come hunt again. A little bit different setup. Got water here. So the way these elk are starting to scream, chasing the cows around, what it's doing is giving them a lot more thirst. So I couldn't figure out why they're all coming over to this one corner. And I got down, and it looks flat, but I got over the edge of the sage, and there's water here. For heaven's sakes. So anyway, we're going to try to set up somewhere along this water tonight and see how that works for us. But yeah, as much as they're screaming, I'm surprised they don't have laryngitis. Yeah, hopefully, I don't know. I'd like to get some of that on film for you. Remember, I'm on a hunting mission this time, so I'm not getting as much filming done. But anyway, we'll try and see what goes on. They want to cross in here, so I'm gonna set up shop. I'm gonna set up shop right here. I got an elk coming right out there. It's actually a bull. I'll get back to you. In a minute. He's about 500 yards out. Oh, for Pete's sake. I go 4 years. 4 years and never take an arrow out of the quiver. And I just missed a shot at, I don't know, maybe 28 yards. About what I'm thinking. Looked good going right for his lungs, and I just flat missed him. That's all there is to it. Well, I prayed that, like I always do, Lord, you pick the animal, and I'd rather miss him clean than to wound him. So I'm glad I missed him clean. I certainly don't want a wounded elk, any kind of animal for that matter. Well, we got 40 minutes of shooting time left. Good shooting time. So I'm just gonna sit tight. Got 3 arrows left. So we'll see what happens next. Oh. Well, now I've only got 2 arrows left. Well, I promised Alice before I came. Anything 20 yards or under, whether it's a bull or a cow, she wanted some meat, so I just shot her a bull. Good lung, double lung shot. About 18 yards away. Kind of a little bit broadside. Double lung, might have got the opposite shoulder. On the exit side. He ran. Oh man, there's more elk. There's more elk coming right down here. Okay, I'm gonna cut this short. He ran about 3/4 of a circle, counterclockwise. And as soon as that arrow hit him, he just took off like he'd been branded. And I could see about a pie plate shape size area where the blood was already coming out as soon as that arrow hit him. Anyway, he ran like he was branded, counterclockwise, back about 8 o'clock, and I just watched him fold up on a full run. So he's out there in the sage. I'm gonna give him about 45 minutes just to make sure. I might have to wait longer because these elk are coming pretty fast. I don't want to spook them. Oh, there's some bulls in there. Well, hopefully I've got enough light left. Doesn't look like it though. Maybe I'll hope I've got enough light left to share with you a little bit later. But it's gonna be a long night. Get that thing boned out tonight. Get it packed out, back to the truck. That bike's gonna come in handy with that trailer on it. For sure. Not much moonlight. All right. I gotta go. Been fun hunt. Yeah. Been a fun hunt.
Actually, you know, it's interesting. We're here. We're all wearing our Kuyu clothing, which is probably, you know, a lot of hunters have really been taken by this stuff. Well, what really happens is that, or happened, is that quite a few years ago, I was hunting here in Idaho elk with Jason Hairston and his dad Mike. And Mike, his dad, and I have been friends for 40 years plus. I've known Jason since he was 13, 14 years old. And we were over here on an elk hunt, and we were up in the altitude, and we were wearing typical hunting clothing that was available at the time. And Jason brought up the fact that it would be interesting because I think the company was called Xterix that made mountaineering clothing that had spandex in it that would stretch and give with you when you were moving. And he brought up that too bad somebody doesn't make a clothing material that would be camo that you hunt with, that hunters would utilize, that had the same characteristics as that mountaineering clothing. And we sat on the side of a hill, you know, looking over this drainage that morning and sat there and had a snack and talked about that. And then we get home, and I think 3 or 4, I don't know how many months later, but Jason ended up selling another business that he had at that time, a small business, and he created Sitka, which was the first mountaineering type hunting clothing that was camo.
I remember that. I had their gear. Yeah.
He created that company, and then that company ended up changing a little bit, and so he was no longer involved with them, and he took the same idea, and he said he wanted to build a clothing company for hunters that didn't deal with middlemen, so that you could buy direct from the manufacturer, which he created that company online. And in a matter, I believe, of 7 years, it was one of the largest camo company manufacturers in the country, and definitely one of the most, one of the ones that hunters prefer. And he was able to do that at a cost basis that, that hunters could afford, which is the key. And it's interesting, I'm here in Idaho with my friend Rodney, and we're all wearing this stuff. And it's, you know, it makes me go back to those years because memories are what's important. And I remember sitting on that hillside with Mike and Jason, and Jason coming up with that idea and having the wherewithal to go about it and do it. And, you know, a lot of people have great ideas, but not very many people follow through with those ideas. And he had the courage to do it. And, you know, I'll always miss the guy. You know, it's a sad part of his life, the way that happened, that we probably all know about. But, you know, he had an effect on my life forever, as he has on most, not most, but a lot of the hunting community. And he's greatly missed. And it just kind of takes me back, because here I am in the same, you know, within probably 100 miles, 80 miles of where that all took place quite a few years back. And it's things like that that you remember.